Ever get that feeling like there's a whole other reality? Like right there, under the surface. Like there's more to the universe and to us than we can even see.
Yeah, it's like a hidden world.
That's exactly what we're diving into today.
Oh, fun.
All this stuff you sent in on hermeticism and alchemy, it hints at all that, tapping into deeper consciousness, maybe even shaping reality itself.
It is pretty mind-blowing. Like those old traditions are whispering to us secrets about the universe and, modern science, quantum physics especially, it's starting to catch up.
Okay, so no secrets here on this show.
No.
Let's lay it all out, hermeticism and alchemy. They're more than just old books and mystical symbols, right?
Absolutely. They're like roadmaps, not just for growing personally or spiritually, but for understanding, the very fabric of reality.
It's like they're saying, hey, there's a bigger game going on, and you're a player. And this game, it's got some wild rules, especially in hermeticism. They talk about everything being connected, and we're not just watching, we're creating reality. Isn't that what quantum physics is hinting at?
It is. And why the best examples is that symbol they use, the circle and the point.
Oh, yeah, I saw that in the material.
The circle is like that formless whole, pure potential where everything's connected. And the point, that's like us, our individual awareness.
So like a drop in a pond making ripples.
Yeah, like that. That first drop, that's the point of awareness. Coming out of the circle, that potential.
Like each ripple is what, our perception, us interacting with the world.
Shaping that potential into what we experience, yeah.
But if we're all connected, why does it feel so separate?
Yeah.
What's blocking us from that unity?
Well, they say it's like our true essence, our spirit, it gets buried under layers of mental and emotional stuff. Like a statue covered in grime. You can't see its beauty till you clean it.
So it's like those moments when you're totally absorbed, painting, listening to music, a deep conversation, all that clutter is gone. You're just present, connected.
Exactly. Awakening the inner fire, that's what they call it.
Makes sense.
Clearing away the blocks, polishing that statue till it shines. And that leads to those 3 stages of initiation they talk about.
Okay, so not just a sudden aha moment, but a process of waking up.
Right.
What's the first step?
Purification, like we were saying, clearing the grime, the beliefs and assumptions that hold us back. Cultivating that inner fire, the energy that keeps us from slipping back.
I like that analogy from the material, removing impurities from salt. To reveal its essence, we got to chip away at what's obscuring our true nature.
Exactly. And once we've cleaned up a bit, we go to stage 2, uniting the observer and the observed, bringing that awareness into daily life, bridging the gap between inner and outer worlds.
Not just knowing it, but experiencing it.
Precisely. Like tuning a radio to get more frequencies. There's a whole spectrum out there. We just need to refine our perception.
So we're not changing the world, but how we experience it.
Right. Refining our instruments.
Makes sense. And then the final stage, becoming one with the light.
Now we're getting to the good stuff.
This is where it gets mystical. The sources talk about the gaze being key. What's that about?
Training our perception to see past the surface. They use mirrors for this, not for vanity, but for looking deeper into ourselves and the world.
Like when you stare in a mirror and almost lose yourself, see past the physical.
Yes, soften the gaze, defocus, let perception expand. Let go of those boundaries we create.
Accessing that formless whole, but consciously.
Merging that inner fire, the awakened awareness with the flow of the world, recognizing we're not separate from it, but part of it, participating in its dance of creation.
These stages, is it step by step? Or more like a spiral, revisiting these experiences?
It's more like a dance, refining our awareness and connection to the universe. And that's just hermeticism, ready to dive into the alchemical cauldron.
Oh yeah, bring on the heat. But maybe our listeners need a minute to digest all this first.
Good point. These concepts need time to simmer before they transform us.
Okay, we're back. Ready for some alchemy?
Time to heat things up.
I feel like I've learned a whole new language with hermeticism, all those symbols and metaphors.
Oh, yeah. Alchemy takes it even further. It's like hermeticism gives you the blueprint, and alchemy is where you actually get to work.
Less theory, more action.
Exactly.
Love it. But where do we even start with this transformation? Do we need like a secret lab, start mixing potions?
Well, you could, but the real lab is inside us. Alchemy starts with understanding that primal force. Materia prima, that's what they call it.
Oh, I saw that in the material. It's like that raw potential before anything takes shape.
Yeah, like the clay before it's a vase.
So it's not creating from nothing, but shaping what's already there. Like a sculptor seeing the statue inside a block of marble.
Exactly. And just like a sculptor needs tools, we need tools to work with our own materia prima. That's where the alchemical trio comes in.
Trio, not a duo this time.
Yep, 3 this time.
Okay, what are they all about?
They're like the forces of change, both in the universe and within us. Sulfur is that fiery energy, the passion that fuels us, the spark that gets things going.
So if someone's ambitious, always pushing, maybe a bit impulsive, that's sulfur. I know a few people like that.
Definitely a sulfur type. Then you've got Mercury, all about intellect, communication, adaptability, those quick-witted, curious types, always up for anything.
I'm seeing how this could apply to personality types. What about salt then? Is that the opposite of sulfur?
Not really opposite, more like a balance. Salt represents structure, stability, brings order to chaos. Salt types are reliable, get things done, create a solid foundation.
So you need all three, the fire to start, the flexibility to adapt, and the stability to ground it all. It's like that balance we talked about with the four elements. It all ties in.
It does. And the four elements, they're huge in alchemy too. Fire, air, water, earth, they're not just physical things, they're qualities, stages of transformation.
Right, so fire isn't just flames, it's also passion, transformation. Air is communication, but also clarity, lightness, water, emotions, intuition, flow, and earth, grounding, stability, practicality, all that.
Exactly. We all have our own unique elemental makeup. Part of the journey is understanding which ones are strongest for us and how to work with them to find balance, like finding your own recipe for transformation.
It's starting to feel less like an old tradition and more like, I don't know, a system for personal growth. We have these tools, and it's up to us what we do with them.
That's the beauty of it. And speaking of journeys, we can't forget that classic quest, the Philosopher's Stone.
Oh yeah, the one that turns lead into gold. I always thought that was just a myth.
It is a myth, but like everything in alchemy, there's a deeper meaning. It's not a real object, but a symbol of transformation, of wholeness, and enlightenment.
So the lead is like those parts of us that feel heavy, stuck.
Yeah.
And gold is our potential, our best selves.
That's a great way to put it. The quest isn't about getting rid of those leaden parts, but refining them, transforming them into something valuable, recognizing that those so-called flaws are part of us.
Acceptance, integration, not denial. And this transformation, it's not just one level, right? You mentioned the psychological side of alchemy.
Absolutely. Think about the shadow self, those hidden parts we tend to push away, fears, insecurities, bad habits.
Yeah, the shadow self. We all have one lurking down there.
But alchemy says we can't ignore it. We got to bring it into the light, understand it, integrate it, turning poison into medicine.
That's powerful. Like when you face a fear and it's not so bad, or accept a weakness and realize it's a strength.
Exactly. And just like we transform our inner world, alchemy also recognizes physical transformation, cycles of nature, growth and decay, the changes happening in our bodies all the time.
Our bodies are basically alchemists themselves, always breaking down and rebuilding. Amazing.
It is, and that leads to the neurological level. Our brains are incredibly adaptable, always rewiring based on our experiences. Neuroplasticity, they call it, and it's alchemy in action.
So every time we learn something new, practice a skill, change our perspective, we're changing our brains. That's wild.
Well,
We really are alchemists. But all this talk about transformation makes me want to get practical. What can we actually do to start this journey?
great question. And that's exactly where we're headed next.
Okay, so we've covered the philosophy, the symbols, the metaphors, all that. But now I'm ready to get hands-on with this alchemy stuff.
Time to put it all into practice.
Exactly. We've got all these tools, but where do we even start?
Well, the most important thing, the foundation of it all, is self-awareness.
Oh yeah, that old saying, know thyself.
Right, but it's more than just knowing what you like to eat or your favorite color.
It's got to be deeper than that.
It's about understanding, really understanding our strengths, our weaknesses, what motivates us, our fears, all those patterns that make us who we are. Being honest with ourselves, even the parts we don't like.
You know, those hidden parts can be pretty interesting, though.
They can.
I remember when I first started meditating, all this stuff I'd pushed down just came bubbling up.
Yeah.
Not always fun, but definitely eye-opening.
That's the power of self-awareness. Not about judging those parts, but acknowledging them, accepting them, and then choosing how to work with them. It's like becoming your own best friend and therapist at the same time.
I like that. But self-awareness is just the first step, right? What do we actually do with all that insight?
That's where intention comes in. Alchemy is about conscious change, and intention is like setting your direction, choosing where you want to go.
So not just wishing for things to change, but making a choice, picking a path.
Exactly. Asking those big questions. Who do I want to be? What kind of life do I want to create? What do I want to contribute to the world?
Like we're not just along for the ride, we're actually driving.
You got it. We choose the destination and how to get there.
And for a good road trip, you need supplies, practices to keep you going. What are some of those tools in the alchemical toolbox?
Well, one of the most powerful is meditation.
Meditation, yeah. I've tried it, but my mind tends to wander. It's hard to find that stillness.
It does take practice, for sure. But think of it as cultivating that inner quiet, that space where you can just observe your thoughts and emotions without getting carried away.
Creating a lab inside your own mind.
Exactly. You can experiment with different states of awareness, explore those hidden depths.
I love that. So meditation helps us create the space. But what about rituals? I've always been curious about using them to, like, boost your intentions.
Rituals are powerful because they give your intention a physical form. They help you mark transitions, let go of old stuff, and invite in new energy. It's like creating a sacred space, stepping out of your routine and connecting with something deeper.
I've noticed even simple things like lighting a candle before I work or taking a few deep breaths before a meeting can really change my energy, my focus.
Exactly. It's about finding what works for you and using it to support your journey, like adding special ingredients to your alchemical potion.
It's all starting to feel less mysterious, more like a system we can tailor to our own needs.
That's the best part. It's not about rigid rules, but taking these principles and making them your own, becoming your own alchemist, experimenting to create the change you want.
So it's not just turning lead into gold. It's turning limitations into strengths, fears into courage, shadows into light. Discovering that philosopher's stone within.
Beautifully said. And that's what we hope you all take away from this. This wisdom isn't just in some old book, it's alive, available to everyone.
So it's not about finding some magic potion out there, but about the power within each of us. Embracing the journey, trusting the process.
Exactly. Remembering that we're not just watching, we're creating our reality. We are the alchemists of our own lives.
Well, I'm feeling inspired. Time to fire up my alchemical cauldron.
Me too. This has been a fantastic journey. Thank you for exploring this with us.
And to everyone listening, keep exploring, keep experimenting, and keep discovering that alchemist within yourselves. Until next time, keep diving deep.